I found myself in a situation that I really did not have a sales strategy, right? And that's obviously not a great way if you want to attract new clients. And I feared sales. I thought it was really complex. I didn't want to put myself out there. And then I got a recommendation for working with you, actually. And after our first call, I had a feeling that you really had a good approach, how sales can be fun, or at least for me, understandable, and, split it up in targets that I could reach. And so that's why I decided to join you or work with you pretty quickly and pretty early on. And yeah, my main focus was actually nailing my sales skills. But it turned out that we also had to do some work on the positioning and on the different sales processes. And yeah, you helped me throughout the whole journey, basically. And then in January, we really started focusing on how I can call clients, and we did role plays and all of this. So yeah, we covered a whole lot. That's for sure.
Yeah, good to hear. And it's very often when people come to me to help them selling better, 99% of the time we go back to that positioning, going from the origin story, who are you in the market. So this is also something that we did in a systematic way. Can you tell me something about what you first thought about your situation, your positioning, versus where you now are after the coaching?
So I think my position itself did not shift that much. However, I broke down what my position actually means and what it is, where my subject matter expertise lays, and also how I can convey this to my clients. And there I thought it was really useful to use a use case for this and a case study, also differentiate these two, because in my mind this was just the same. There was a good exercise for sure. And my position is still the same, but I just know how to slightly more specialized now, but I just know how to convey the benefits for my clients in a different way.
Yeah. And in the beginning, we were also talking about the amount of time you spent to finding clients. How did this change?
Well, with the ideal customer profile, I think this was really helpful to write it down once more in a concentrated setting, because also there I had notes, I had visions, I had ideas, and you then have to test it, right? And so now out of my lead list that was about 400 hotels, because I'm working with the hospitality industry mostly, right? I could narrow it down to 200 and then even closer, and also get in contact with them faster. Because what I've done before was, use the LinkedIn sales navigator, find some leads, talk to them, but within the first contact trying to pitch and to sell way too much. And I think your coaching helped me to realize that there are just so many more touch points, and that honestly it takes a lot of time and a lot of focus and stamina to follow up on that. But that's okay. That's how you generate better lead, or that's how you go from good or better qualified leads to a high probability that you will actually pitch and then consequently close the deal. So I think that makes total sense.
Yeah, it absolutely does. And also the mindset that, first of all, the amount of dials you have, the amount of times you will have a conversation. Secondly, when you have somebody on the phone, many founders extremely enthusiastic and passionate about their solution. So they talk about what they know best, which is their solution, rather than opening the conversation and understanding what the prospect, what the potential client is looking for, what their challenges are. And when can you remember maybe that first moment when you had that new type of conversations with prospects? How did this go then?
Still very nervous about it, because I had to ask a lot more questions, right? And like you said, not just jump into the solution part, the part that I know and comfortable with. So for me to go into this conversation with people was exciting also to a certain aspect, because usually I like to talk, and it's really a lot easier if you connect with people and then ask how you can help them, because basically what I want to do is help people, right? I want to find a match with my product offering and their problems. So yeah, there was still a learning curve, but the more you talk, the more you have a script, so to say, what you have to add in the first 30 seconds so that people care, the people listen to you. The success rate got higher and higher, and I got more calls, and the conversations went easier. And then also, reflecting back on them with you, And when I had objections already on the phone, how I could handle them in a better way than just, okay, thank you, bye. Just escaping the conversation. Yeah. And now I would say that I'm not a pro at it, not still, because every person that I call is just, individual, and you cannot be sure how they will react, because some people just don't have the time, don't want to answer your questions. Then you have to be resistant, but also, know that this is not the only point of contact.
Yeah, definitely. And it's good that you don't try to come with a gimmick. It's really opening that conversation and finding out, why should they listen, why should they care exactly. Where would you be today without the coaching and without the consulting?
I think I would feel so much more lost, and still like not having a focus, not being motivated, not being held accountable, because if you have weekly sessions, you do want to report something nice happening, some success, to share this, because you put in the work and I put in the work, I implemented, I tried to. And I think I could have read a lot about sales, I could have done online classes, but again, there's not this accountability that I think is really important if you want to work on your sales skills, and also do the exercises that we've done together with somebody that is experienced and that just knows what is common in sales and how to overcome these obstacles. So I think I would have been pretty much where I was in November, and I definitely wanted to leave that position.
Yeah. I'm happy you made such a progress. And if you think about the people that are maybe on the fence on working with me or not, what would you say to them to jump on the right side of the fence and working with me?
Well, I think I would definitely... There's lots of things that I could say, because I think that, first of all, you are just very knowledgeable in that field. So you really know what you talk about. You've lived through that experience.
Mm-hmm.
Also, you're very passionate about it and approach sales with a humorous aspect, which I very much enjoyed, for example. And I think as a sales newbie, so to say, or somebody who wants to ramp up sales, it's not always so easy, because you have to confront your own insecurities. You have to get out of your comfort zone very often, and you have to be raw and honest with yourself, and then also with your coach. And if the coach is a safe place, or also takes a bit of humor to this, I think this is a tremendous help to overcome this, and then you will make the progress. You have to be in on it, right? And I think that really is what I took away from this, that I have your support. Also, when there were situations where we did not have a call scheduled, I could ask you in between about my pitch deck, about how to formulate this email. So there was just support, which I don't think you have working with every coach or with every sales coach. Also, the templates that you provided me with were helpful and were great. And the constant exchange. It's just that you have somebody to count on and who will guide you, and who will move at your pace. This is something that I also want to stress, because I think we could have been stuck with the positioning or whatever it is way longer to make this really top notch. But you also had the feeling I was now ready to move on to something, or to also stick to the timeline.
Yeah.
And get away from my perfectionist mindset that this needs to be like really spot on now, and not do the other parts that are also important.
Yeah. Thank you for the nice words. And yes, it's everything is an iteration. Nothing will ever be perfect. And there were quite some things to work on, right? So it's very good to have that agenda, work on it, then come back to it a couple of weeks later. And I think this has the biggest impact on yourself as well.
Yeah, I'm sad that our time together is over, to be honest. It was always really a pleasure for me working with you, talking to you. Like I said, having some support there. But I feel much more confident in sales now, and I will continue to keep myself accountable, getting those leads, getting those talks. And I can just, really, there's nothing more that I can do than just recommend working with you.
Great. Thank you so much.